Yes.
Yes, ma.
End SARS
Yes,
from
ma.
your house. End SARS from your social media. Do all your protests from there. If you don't have to go out, don't go out, because the whole thing is mixed with hoodlums, and it's really not achieving the purpose for which we want. But we are praying that the Lord God Almighty will be in charge. He will take control. He will do everything that is necessary to give us peace in Nigeria, and to help us to continuously live, in harmony with each other, enjoying all the facilities that we are supposed to enjoy, in Jesus' name. So yes, it's a speaking class today, and I have people already in class. We are going to be talking. Linda, you have spoken already. You're not going to speak again today, so you're out of it. Austin, Ijoma, Ujunwa, if you can't have your video on, can you kindly join the YouTube viewers, please? I really don't want to talk too much today, so I'm going to be removing people as much as possible. I'll just take you out. Once I can't see you, I see your video is off, I'll just take you out, because it's distracting me and it's not making the people to get, what they are supposed to get maximally from this class. We won't let you distract us with your disobedience. It's just simple. I know there are many reasons why you will not want your faces to show, okay? Agreed. We are not disputing that, and we're not saying that it is compulsory that you must show us your face. Please, don't show us your face when you don't want to. We really want you to benefit from this class, and so we want all of us to be on the same page, okay? Please, coming into the class, do what you are supposed to do. Let your videos be on. Let your videos be on, please. As much as possible, let your videos be on, so that you can participate well in the class. If you can't have your video on, there's no problem. Please join the YouTube classes. I know you will still benefit from it. I pray that God will help us as we obey in Jesus' name. Yes, so today we are going to be talking about speaking. Speaking is the interaction between you and your examiner. That's the part of IELTS where you get to see your examiner face to face. And in the speaking test, we have discussed that there are various, stages, like steps, and there are 3 of them. We said the first one is introduction, the second one is your individual long run, and then the third one is the discussion between you and your examiner, like an interactive session, like a dialogue, where your examiner invites you to come have a word or two with her, and then you people talk on topics that are related to your section 2. Section 1 has to do with your introduction. Sometimes they just verify your identity, ask you a couple of questions like your name, ask you like where you come from, about your hometown, ask you about maybe your work, okay? They can ask you if you work or school, they can ask about your schooling, all right? The reason, the course that you're studying in school and all of that. And then in part 2, that's the second part, the section 2, is where you are given a cue card, a question prompt on a sheet of paper, on a piece of paper, and there you are expected to speak on a particular topic for about 3 to 4 minutes. You have 1 minute from these 3 to 4 minutes to prepare, okay? So if you are going to write, you write down your points. And if you're not interested in writing, you can just be having a look at your cue card each time, and you give the points that you're supposed to give. Usually the cue card you're giving will tell you or give you like a direction on what to say, what to do per time. All right, so it keeps you like in check, so you don't go out of point, you don't go speaking OP, and then at the end of the day you don't get the marks that you deserve. In part 3, you are asked questions that are related to your part 2, and here you are expected to talk along with your examiner. Generally, I've made us to understand in this class that the IELTS speaking test is also making use of the band descriptors, where we have our task completion and achievement, we have the lexical resource, okay, our vocabularies, we have the grammatical range and accuracy, and then coherence and cohesion. In terms of your task completion, it is your ability to tackle these questions like completely. You've been given a question, like for instance, your part 2, and then you are said, maybe asked to say why, how, when, and then you said how and why, and you didn't say the when, and your time is up. At the end of the day, you find out that you have less mark for your task completion because you did not answer all of the questions. Your lexical resource, where you have your vocabularies, okay, they expect you to speak fluently. They are measuring your fluency and they are going to be rating you based on that. They also expect you to use words that are not too common but not too scarce as well. Words that are, like usable in the context for which you are discussing or the question that you have been asked. They expect you to be coherent. They expect you to be audible enough. They expect you to speak in a manner that your work is arranged. They've asked you where you came from, and you talking about where you came from, you're not going to jump into something else. Your work is in order, okay? They have asked you when, how, and why. You're not going to tell me why before you talk about when or how, okay? So you go in accordance to the question you're asked. If you have a good examiner, they may ignore some of these things, but sometimes they don't. So we need to be very, very careful so we don't end up losing marks. Also, our pronunciation of words, our intonation of words, and all of that. I did talk about it last week, and I said you don't have to bite your tongue. You don't have to twist your tongue because you want to sound like them. You don't have to sound like the examiner who is either British trained or who is British by birth, or who has been in Britain for, like the greater part of their lives. These things come in like effortlessly. After mixing with them for a very long time, you find out that you begin to talk and interact like they do. So, what am I saying? Am I saying that you should speak like the way you speak your typical Igbo or English or Yoruba or Hausa? No, I'm saying that you should speak and like pronounce these words the way they should be pronounced. Okay. For instance, I know that some of us have issues with pronunciation of R and L. For instance, you're going to say Lagos and you say Regos. As much as possible, you need to learn to say Lagos. Okay, you need to learn to say Lagos. You are saying people and your tongue is making you say fearful. You need to learn how to say people. Okay, so these are the areas that you need to work on, and not you twisting your tongue, not you speaking like Americana because you want to do the speaking test. Am I making myself clear? Or I'm too fast? I'm not too fast. So yeah, with all of this in mind, you are going to be speaking today. Austin, you are number 1. So the whole class will be rating you and we will be listening. We'll just listen, and at the end of the day, we will rate you. Okay, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
You're on the hot seat now. It's your turn to be on the hot seat. Don't mind me. Remember that these are familiar topics, okay? You're right. What is about writing anyway? You're speaking, it's about familiar topics. Nobody is going to bring anything that is strange, okay? Nobody is bringing anything strange. Hello, my name is Joy Agagwu, and I'm your IELTS examiner for today. You obviously are on the hot seat this afternoon, and yeah, can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
I'm Mark Ndubisi Ogile by name. My date of birth is 28th of January 1993.
Okay. So Mark, where are you from?
I'm from Enugu State, a state in the eastern part of Nigeria. It is predominantly made up of Igbo people, and yes, I'm from Enugu.
Do you like your hometown?
Yes, I like where I came from. It is a nice place to be. There are many things to be proud of from where I come from, starting from the people. We have good people with good character and behavior. Apart from that, we also have some natural resources and some centers to be proud of. Starting from we have a museum and we also have a university in my hometown. So it is a nice place and I like where I am from.
Okay, so has your hometown changed since you were a child?
If I'm to compare my hometown how it is before, while I was growing up, and how it is today, I would say that it has changed greatly. Many of the things that have changed are in terms of infrastructures. The buildings have been renovated. We also have some modern schools and other modern facilities to be proud of in my country, in my community. We also, apart from the infrastructure, we have some improvements in terms of human resources. Now, in the university, we have some professors and there's some teachers who are from abroad. While I was growing up, all these things were not there, and the schools were many things that were nothing to write home about.
Okay, that's a good one. So, Austin, I'm sorry, Mark, I'm going to be asking you, I'll give you a cue card. There's a question there's a question on it with a couple of points, okay? You can take 1 minute to jot down the points you want to jot down and to prepare as well. Here is your paper and here is a pencil for you in case you need to write anything down. On this, you are going to tell me about a journey that you remember very well, a journey you made that you remember very well. In describing this journey to me, you are going to tell me where you went, okay, where you went, how you traveled, why you went on that journey, and explain why you remember this journey so well. Your time starts now.
Okay, I would like to talk about a journey I had in 2018. This was my first journey outside my state. Before then, I used to travel in between from Enugu town to the villages. But when I had to go to a nearby city, I had to take plane. But there's many things that were memorable in that journey. First of all, I would like to talk what I went there to do. I am to travel from Enugu to Lagos for the first time, and I did not have any person to go with. Then my age, I was still young, and I was thinking that I'll not be able to go alone. So I told my father if he could accompany me to Lagos. But unfortunately, he was not free to go with me. So he decided that he would entrust me to one of his friends. But that does not go well. The friend that he wanted me to go with later on canceled his own journey, and I was to go to Lagos to write my exams, of which I will not be able to shift the date since it's already booked. But along the line, I decided to go alone against all odds. When I got to Lagos, I faced many problems, I faced many challenges. First of all, the issue I had first was with accommodation. I was not able to get where to stay for the time being. I had to go to the hotels to lodge, and most of the hotels that I went turned me down, given the reasons that I'm still minor and I'll not be able to make any transaction. And when later on in the night, when a receptionist in one of the hotels saw that I'm already stranded, she decided to cut some edge and decided to help me and give me a ticket. This is the greatest night of my life, to make some decisions as a young person and not having some necessary things that I can use to identify myself. By then, I have never had a driver's license, which I can use as a form of identification, and I had not my international passport with me the same day. So trying to convince the hotel managers and the receptionists to allow me to stay in the hotel was a very difficult task. Then another thing about the journey that I enjoyed, because I've talked about the bad side of it, I want to talk about the good side. Another thing I enjoyed about it is that I used plane for the first time. I've never entered an aeroplane since my life until that day. And it was like a new experience, a set of things that I never expected. From the beginning, how the a hostess, those people that were working in the airplane was jovial to us, how everything went wasn't my expectation. It left a memory in me that I know even in many years to come, I will never forget, and I'll continue saying it even to the nearest generation. And I would
Wow.
like to since for for some reasons, I've learned some lessons which I'll pass on to my children, and I'll tell them that no matter what the situation is, they should always hold their peace and not allow. They should not allow anything to distract them,
All
even
right.
if it is.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark. We'll just have a little bit of a talk still on traveling. Why do you think that people need to travel?
Yes, many people have their reasons to make a journey. Some people could be for official purpose. That is those people that goes to meetings and other things. But for some, it is for leisure. Some people travel from one place to the other and not to enjoy themselves. Some people also do it as a form of an adventure. They
Okay.
travel in order to know new places and know new people and culture.
Okay. So what problems can people have when they are on their journeys? For instance, maybe to work or to school, and why?
The major problem I think that people here face when they are in their journey is traffic. Most of the time, the traffic is very tight, and people you cannot get to where you are going at the particular period of time that you want it. Another issue is weather. You could have planned to be in a particular place by a particular time, but because of the weather, it could start raining or it could start the sun, or there could be something unexpected that will happen. People don't have any direct control on the weather condition at travel. Is when the driver or the person that is they are making the journey with is not dependent. Some people will tell you to come by 4, and when you get to the public transport, you will not see the vehicle that will take you. Some people will tell you to come by 4, and when you get to their bus stop, like what we have here in Nigeria, when you get to the public transport, you will not see the vehicle that you travel with. So I think these are the reasons why some people could have some troubles while traveling.
Okay. Do you think that although some people say that daily journeys like this will not be so common in the future, do you agree or you disagree, and why? What are your reasons?
I personally, I personally disagree with the notion. First of all, as human beings lives, there will be always demand for them to make journeys, be it to their workplace or to any other thing of their choice. So if you say that people will not travel, take it where they are going. So I know in the future there will still be a need for people to move. Some people need to move from where they are living to where they are working. For instance, here in Nigeria, some people work in the township where they dwell in the rural areas. So there is also always a need for them to move from that place they are living to where they are working. And as a result, they will be making the journey daily. The only thing I know that could improve is the form of transport. Now that we have the public transport, by the nearest future, I know there could be also a way in which people can make their journey faster. It could be by plane or any other thing, but I know people must always travel.
Thank you very much, Mark. You have come to the end of your speaking test. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Okay. Where is Maureen? Maureen was to speak last week and she's not here. Ijoma, are you ready?
Yes, yes, ma.
I hope village people will not do you anything today.
I hope so.
No worries. We are more than village people, Abi. Okay, so Ijoma, good afternoon and welcome to the class today. You are in the IELTS speaking class for overseas nurses, and I'm your anchor for today. My name is Joy Agagwu. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
My name is Joy. My date of birth is 19th of May.
Okay, Ijoma, where is your home?
I didn't get you, ma'am.
Where is your home?
My home is situated in Lagos. I live in Lagos, which is the western part of my country, Nigeria. And my neighborhood is very a calm place and a conducive environment to live in. The people living there are friendly, and they give you a very warm reception. My neighborhood is quite accessible to the city center.
All right. So do you live in a house or in a flat?
I live in a 4-bedroom apartment, 4 rooms, three toilets and bathrooms, and a very big sitting room. The compound is spacious, and there are lots of, it can contain about 6 to 7 cars.
Okay. So who do you live with?
I currently live with my family, my mom, my siblings, and other of my extended family members, about one of my cousins.
How are your rooms decorated? Your walls, how are they decorated?
Okay, so in my sitting room, there is a portrait of my late father, and we have an art, that the bed art on the wall. It's painted with the color of the sitting room is painted lemon green, and there is a calendar and a wall clock on the wall.
Okay. So, Ijoma, I'm giving you a piece of paper. On it, you've got a cue. It's a cue card for you to answer just a few questions. All right. So you take 1 minute to prepare a talk on this subject. Take notes if you like, and remember to include reasons and examples. You should then speak for between 1 to 2 minutes. Your question says, describe a school which you went to. A school which you went to. And in describing this school, you should say, when you went there, how many people studied there, how long you spent there, and explain to me what you liked and disliked about it. Your time starts now.
Can you repeat the question?
Okay. Describe a school you went to. When you went there, how many people studied there, how long you spent there, and explain what you liked and disliked about the school.
Thank you. All right, today I'll be discussing about my tertiary institution, which is located in the eastern part of my country, Nigeria, Imo State. I studied there. I studied nursing science in my university, and my class contained about 100 persons. We are all undergraduates from Imo State University, and I studied there for about 5 years. I did a 5 years course, though because of the national strike and some unforeseen circumstances in the country, it was extended to about 6 years. And what I like about my school is that it's quite accessible to other parts, to the market. It's very connected to the bank, and they have a very good road network, good electricity supply, and water supply. The people living there are very, they are very friendly, even though our campus is away from the main school environment. We had to stay in a village, and we were able to blend very well, interact well with the villagers there. They accepted us as their children. Another thing I didn't like about the place is that because of the language, there are some people that cannot interact well in the popularly known language, which is Igbo. So
What's happening?
Just give you they just discriminate.
Okay. All right. Ijoma. Hello, Ijoma. Can you still hear me? Are you still in this
like
class?
That.
Yeah, you can still hear me. Yeah. Ijoma, can you hear me?
Treatment for some of the strangers or foreign students that came in from different countries or states. And
all right. So can you tell me, Ijoma, how education has changed in your country in the last 10 years?
Okay, in the last decade, the educational system has changed significantly. Over the last 10 years, I could remember that there were no conducive environments, no good teaching facilities. We were still using white chalkboard as at then. And for instance, when I was enrolled for a computer class, I remember that we had only just one monitor. But right now, presently now, the educational system has changed positively. There are lots of electronic gadgets that are being used in teaching students. Sometimes the school can enroll for an online class, and this teaching style is now very flexible. Some people can enroll for a full-time or a part-time studies.
Okay, so is a good education more important to a boy or to a girl, and why?
I think, personally, I think education is important to everybody, despite the gender. Whether a boy or a girl should be exposed to quality education because these days, because these days, now children are being allowed to school, work. Every child is very important, and every child should feel that there's a gender equality in the country or wherever they find themselves. A girl child can actually do well and even more better than a male child. A male child too can contribute positively to his family and to his nation. So education is very paramount to every gender.
All right, thank you very much, Ijoma. You have come to the end of your speaking test. Thank you. Ujunwa, are you ready? You can unmute your mic now. Okay. Ujunwa. Can you unmute? You have unmuted, that's fine. Okay, it's your turn. Hello, Uju. My name is Joy Agagwu, and I'm your IELTS tutor for today. You are going to be doing your speaking practice. All right. Can you tell me your full name and your date of birth, please?
Okay, ma. My name is Okoye Ujunwa Headline, and I was born in 1978, sorry. 10th August 1988, sorry. Can you hear me, ma?
I'm hearing you.
10th August 1988.
Okay. Do you enjoy your birthdays?
Yes, ma. I enjoy my birthday a lot.
Do you usually celebrate them?
Yes, I do that every year. But I did not celebrate this year on.
Okay, so what did you do on your last birthday?
That was last year. I went out with my family and I had a small party. Some of my friends came around and we celebrated together. I cut my cake and we had some small drink and small chops, and that was it.
Okay. Can you remember a birthday that you enjoyed as a child?
As a child, I can't even remember my birthday as a child. I can't remember any of them.
Okay. Do most people celebrate their birthdays with a party in your country?
In my country, everybody has different view of birthday, but most people celebrate their birthday mostly for their kids. For their kids, it's not adults most times doesn't celebrate their birthday in my country. Is always for their children, especially they always mark their 1 year birthday for their children. That's what most people do. And when the children grow up, they tend to celebrate for their parents also, for their aged parents. But most people don't celebrate their birthday in my country. It's for kids and for elderly.
Okay. All right. So which birthdays are considered important in your country?
The first birthday, the 1 year birthday for a child, is one that most people consider very important. And that's one I knew because in my house, I will use myself as an example. In my house, everybody has their 1 year celebration, birthday celebrated, and we always have a picture that they will hang on the family parlor. So when you grow up, you just see it. That is just that your first birthday that is very important. And I also do the same for my kids.
Okay. So Uju, do you all right, you're just gonna take a few minutes. You take 2 to 3 minutes to discuss on this particular topic that I'm giving to you. You can take notes if you like. So you describe an exciting experience in your life, an exciting experience in your life. In describing this experience to me, tell me when the experience took place, where the experience took place, what happened exactly, and explain to me why the experience was so exciting. When the experience took place, where the experience took place, and what happened exactly. And then explain to me why the experience was so exciting to you.
Okay. Okay. Can I start?
Of course.
Okay. The most exciting experience I had many experiences. I have many happy experiences, but this very one is the one that is most precious to me. It happened in 2016. It happened on 15th January 2016. That was the day I had my baby, my first child. I was on duty that day. I went to work and I was supposed to be on off duty that day, but I was called that morning that I should report to work. I should report that morning on morning duty, but I was supposed to be off duty. So that morning I dressed up and I went to work. So I I work in a hospital that mostly in the hospital I work there, mostly you have a station where you station you. That's the only place you have to work for the whole day. So I always work at the reception. So as front desk nurse. Then so when I went to work that morning, I never knew that because my EDD was supposed to be February. I was supposed to stop work February. So I went to work that day on normal ground. On getting to the office, I changed my uniform and I went to my desk. I took over from the night duty nurse. I took few of my patients' vital, people that came that morning to see doctor side. I just took their vitals and registered them. So I just feel pressed. I said, let me go and ease myself in the bathroom. I wasn't having any pain or anything. I just went to the bathroom to ease myself. On getting there, I just saw shoe. I was like, what's this? Then I went to the doctor. I went to my matron then. I called her, I said, please, she should come and help me and see something. On getting there, she just said, okay, I should just come, but it's not time. I should just come. That's all this priming, our wahala too much. So I just said, okay, let her just come. So we just went to the labor room. She just want to feel right. She was thinking I was not serious. Me too, I was not serious. I was not prepared. On getting there, I was surprised that she just told me that she just push. I said, what is pushing? As in I should push what? She just said I should push and I just push and my baby came out. I was so surprised. When they told the doctor that I've put to bed, he said it's a lie. The MD have to come down from where he was because he was in the theater. He has to come out and was like, it's not okay that just passed here now. That just beat me. Everybody was, so that day was so, I don't know how to, it was so exciting and I could not hold myself. Up till now, I cannot believe that everything went like that way. Even when I called my husband at home and my mom my mom was like, it's a lie. She just spoke to me not few minutes ago and everybody that saw me going to work, trekking down the road, nobody could believe it. And everything just happened in less than 1 hour or 2 hours.
Okay. So do you think that it's important to have adventures in our lives?
Yeah, it's very important because it makes you to learn new things, to know places. You can't just sit in one place, not going around and seeing things.
Okay.
I myself, I'm an adventurer. I go places. I love to see new things. I love to see new places. When I hear that there's a new place in town, I love to go there to see what is happening there, to meet people there also. I love to visit new places, new sites. It helped me to know people and to also to know what is happening around me.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, thank you very much, Ujunwa. You have come to the end of your IELTS speaking test. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to take one more person, then I will go over this class. I'm taking one more person. I'm looking for who was here when we started. Esther. Oh my God. Are you ready to do this speaking test today?
Yes, I'm ready.
You are ready. You don't look ready to me. You don't look ready to me at all.
I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
All right. So my name is Joy Agagwu, and I'm the IELTS tutor for overseas nurses. I'm going to be drilling you on your IELTS speaking test today. Okay. Can you please tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Okay. My name is Esther Okoribu. I was born in March 22nd.
Okay. Do you enjoy your childhood? Did you enjoy your childhood, rather?
Yes, I did. Because it is I was the last born of my parents, and as a last born, I have I have other elderly siblings. Oh, get out from here! Get out from here also. I have other siblings, elderly ones. Then I don't do anything. I was last born. I was pampered. My dad especially loved me so much. So every time that they shared something in the house, I was always having the lion's share. And my whenever my dad, then he was not staying with us, he normally come every weekend. So whenever he's coming home every weekend, he gets so many gifts for me. I have so
Okay.
many toys, and I really enjoy that.
Okay. What is your first memory of your childhood?
Okay, the one I can remember very well is my, let me say, my first day in school. I don't used to forget that day when when my mom went to register me in, that was nursery school then, because then it's not, nursery school was not really much. It's more of primary school, but the one that was there then, uh, it's not everybody that was actually attending nursery school, but they registered me on time. So I remember that day. I can still remember vividly, because when my mom dropped me at school and she was going back, I started crying again. I wanted to follow her back home, and say that, but I said I want to go to school. So why did I want to follow her back home? But I was crying, crying, crying. Then she now left me. When she left me, so because I see other children, so after a while I missed up again, and we started learning some songs. I can
Okay.
remember.
Do you think it's better for children to grow up in the city centers or in the countryside?
Well, me, I can say that it's good to actually for children to grow up in a city centers, because you in city centers you meet with different tribes, different people, you learn a lot, you meet with friends, you go
Christiana
out.
Okoye and Chika Ogili, you are supposed to have your videos on. If you have been to this class before and you don't have your videos on, you are doing yourself a disservice. Please. I won't say it again. I'll just take you out of my class, and I'm serious. Sorry, Esther.
Okay, so I said it is good to grow up in a city, because in a city that you meet with so many friends, so many cultures, it's not all about your people. Maybe when you grow up in a like a village center, a village side, you only be hearing one particular language. It's all about your people. But when if in the city, it's not like that. In your class, you see in you many people in your environment. You see many people outside Yoruba, Igbo, like in our country here, Nigeria.
Okay.
It's it's not only one particular language, and
All
other
right.
cultures.
Okay. Esther, you're going to take 1 minute to prepare for this talk, and then you can take notes if you like. You should then speak for between 1 and 2 minutes. You will describe for me an exciting competition or sporting event that you have witnessed. An exciting competition or sporting event that you have witnessed. In describing this event, you should say what the competition or sporting event was, when and where it took place, who won, and explain why it was exciting. Tell me when the competition or sporting event took place, when and where, sorry, tell me what the competition is, okay, what it was, then where and when it took place and who won, then explain why it is exciting to you.
Okay, can I start now?
Of course, yes.
So I would like to talk about three different competition I participated in. Now, in the past, when I was in primary school, that took place when I was in primary school, the first one. So it is a school competition, debate to be specific. So it is primary three of my school, community central school then, and other schools in the same in the same different communities. So I happen to be one of the people that are doing the debate. So on that fateful day, it's actually community debate that I was choosing to represent my school, and it is primary three specifically. So it's the thing took place in my school. Other students came to my school, but it's not only my school, but that particular one took place in my school. We normally change different schools. If it take place in this school today, next time it will not be the same school, it will be another school. So the name of my school was Community Secondary Primary School. It's in Umol Emi, where Imo State. So it was really exciting because we in our school now, though we are the host, we are expected to really win the competition. Then me as a person now being a participant, I was even surprised because we were actually taught, and maybe the way we really did, nobody was thinking or expecting us to take the first position. Now, when the competition started, we that we are the host, we are the last people to speak. Now, when other schools were speaking their own, when they are taking their own part, they really did well. So, because they have already done well, now we don't even know whether we are really, even our tutors then, because after the competition, they really said they did not really even know that we are going to took for a first position. We are going to won that debate. So when we started, even me, everybody was surprised. I did not really know that I can really perform the way I did. So when we started, as we are speaking, going ahead, they started clapping for us, which means because they are clapping for us, I now really know that we are actually doing well. And at the end of that competition, when results came out, it was wow, everybody was surprised. In fact, we were even our teacher, I remember our headmaster, he even carried me up that day, and one other boy, because it was a boy and a girl. Me and one of my other of our students is a boy. So we really won that competition. I was excited. Another one
Okay.
was
Okay, Esther, what do you do to keep fit?
okay. Well, in my working place, I normally there is a place I'm supposed to take bike, but sometimes because I don't really have time, I always work from morning to night, and I sometimes I accept to cover shift. So instead of entering bike all the time for some places, I will just decide to trek. I'm not trekking because I don't have money to enter bike, but I know that it's part of exercise and it will also help me. So I normally trek to for a distance. By trekking, I know that I'm also keeping fit. And
Okay.
sometimes on Saturdays when I'm off duty in the morning, I normally do a walk out with my husband. Early in the
Okay.
morning, we do a walk.
Okay. Do you think that many people consider exercise as a chore, or do they find it fun?
What Me specifically, I think that it is really fun because when you like that early morning Saturdays, in this part of where I stay, many people, elderly people, children, families, you see them working out with their family. And there is one field that we normally gather in front of this beggar bus stop here in Abuja, here in Lube. So that place, you see many families gather. Some will be playing ball, some will be hugging, so many things, and they're catching fun all the way, at the same time keeping fit. So I think it.
Okay. So what is the most common or popular form of exercise in your country?
Well, there are different types, but I can say that football is one of the most popular exercise in my country, because in the evenings, when you go out to field, you see both young children and even grown-up people playing football, and people will gather and be watching. And also on weekends, even in church now, church activities, church program, during modern Sundays, you see they will put football match for mothers and fathers to come and compete. So you will find out that it is really fun and people are really enjoying it. And some Saturday, Sunday, say when you go out, you see friendly matches going on in the field, and people will gather and be watching. I think football is one of the matches that are really one of the sports that are really common and people
Thank
normally
you very
partake.
much, Esther. You have come to the end of your speaking test for today. Thank you. All right. So, let me see if I can take one more. Peter. You can unmute now. I've asked you to unmute. Good afternoon, Peter. You are welcome to the IELTS class for today. And I'm just doing like a recap of our speaking test, and we're doing our rehearsals as well. You're on the hot seat. I hope that seat is not hot on your bum.
No, ma.
No. Okay. All right. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
My name is Banaki Peter. My date of birth is 9th July, 1980.
Thank you very much. Do you school or work? Do you study or work?
I currently work.
Okay.
I'm working currently after graduating from School of Nursing.
Okay. So do you often use a computer?
Yes, I in most of my daily activities and undertaking, I use a computer.
Okay. So how do you get online?
I log on to the internet via subscription packages from my mobile network. I'm currently subscribed on MTN, and it has a package for 3.5 gigabytes that costs 2,500 naira,
Okay.
which is supposed to last for 30 days.
Okay. So does it last for 30 days?
Because of the kind of work I do and how much of surfing I do on the internet.
Okay, the network is, but can you hear me, yeah?
Yes, ma, I can hear you.
Okay. So do you prefer laptops or desktops, and why?
When I was much younger, that I could not afford a mobile device, I used desktop. But now that I can afford one, I bought a laptop for myself. And the reason why I have to acquire a laptop is because of its mobility. And more importantly, it's lightweight. So I can go anywhere with it and be able to do the things that I need to do online.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you a topic, and you will speak on that topic for a couple of minutes. All right. You take 1 minute to prepare to talk on the topic. You take notes if you like, and remember to include reasons and examples. You should then speak for between 1 and 2 minutes, describing to me a beautiful place to visit in your country. A beautiful place to visit in your country. You're welcome. In describing this beautiful place, you should say where it is, how to get there, what there is to do when you are there, and explain why you recommend this place. How it is, okay, first of all is where it is, followed by how to get there. Thirdly, what there is to do when you are there, and explain why you recommend this place. Sorry, I was a bit distracted. Did you get my question and the sub questions?
Yes, ma'am. I should describe a beautiful place I visited.
Yep.
In describing it, I should say where it is, how to get there, and what to do there, and possibly explain recommendations.
Okay. Your time starts now.
In my country, there's a place called Obudukatu Ranch. It's located in the south region of Nigeria. It's a location on a mountain top, the plateau of, is on a plateau of a mountain top. And visitors or adventurers travel or can get to this place using either plane or motor cars. The place is so beautiful. There's so many things that you can possibly do, especially that it's a tourist center and it has attracted a whole lot of visitors from local and international destinations. It has horse riding, golf playing, kayaking, and dart playing. That's DART. Now, the common form of fun people engage in is horse riding. Basically, because horse riding is not a common sport or a way to pass time in my place or in my country. So people enjoy horse riding. It's also not expensive to ride a horse in the ranch. And I would recommend it for tourists for reasons that, apart from beautiful scenery, it's secured. We have a lot of security agents. The place is fenced. We have park rangers. We have military and paramilitary security outfits to ensure that lives and property are safe in this location. So as a result, I would want my friends, home and abroad, to visit this location to have a pastime. That is why I love the place.
Okay. Why do you think people like to travel to different places in their free time?
Yeah, people enjoy going to different places, especially by transport, to unwind, among so many reasons. You
Okay.
know, the work week most of the times is so hectic for a lot of persons, and the only way they can let out tension, refresh for the next working week is to go to places that are different from where they're familiar with, to take in new inspiration, and some other persons by their nature they they are social beings, and they enjoy meeting new friends or meeting new people. From there, they make new friends and they extend their business connections. So as a
Okay.
result,
So
traveling will become a big part of their life.
in other words, you're saying that people travel to different places for different reasons, yeah?
Exactly.
Okay, that's fine. So can you tell me how you see tourism changing in your country in the nearest future?
The the future is bright for tourism in the country. Looking back at when I was much younger, there are only a few places where we can visit, and we hardly see visitors from other places coming. But coming up till now, it has changed. Sporting activities, tourist attraction, monuments built here and there. So it portends, or it indicates that the future will see many more of this, more so that the government benefits financially or economically from the tourists that are coming to visit those sites. So I see it growing bigger and larger than it is currently. So it's bright for the tourism industry.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much for today. You have come to the end of your speaking test, Mr. Peter. I do have a great day. Ooh,
Thank
okay. I'm not taking any more for now. There are questions from the YouTube. For those of you watching us on YouTube, I'm sure there's a link that took you to our YouTube page. If you want to join the live class that's ongoing on Zoom, you need to follow the link there. There's a video you watch on how to join. There's nothing like we sending you a password and login details, as it were. When you register on Zoom, then you can, there's a link from the Telegram group, all right? You register on our Telegram group, you register on the Zoom, whatever. That way you will be getting notification on how to join the class, and you can automatically join or click on the class. I know that's what the people here have done. You need to register for you to be able to join us. So you register using that link. There's a video on how to join. If you watch that video, then you can join the class when it's on. All right? Okay. So let's analyze what we have done so far. Then we have some time to do more. We need to analyze what we've done so far. If you're joining us for the first time, you're welcome. My name is Joy Agagwu, and I am the IELTS tutor for this Zoom class. We've done some things on the speaking class before, and that was the last thing we did. If you go to our YouTube channel, there you can watch it. Then that way you can like be able to connect with what we are doing today. At the beginning of the class, we had explained what we were going to do, talking about speaking. Remember that speaking is one of the divisions in the IELTS speaking modules. I mean, IELTS academic modules. You are expected to score at least a 7.0 if you are a nurse and a 7.5 if you are a doctor. Okay? If you are a pharmacist, if you are a lab technician, I think their scores are less. So yeah, if you need this class, just go back to the YouTube channel and you will get what you need. All right. So speaking, like every other thing, is also making use of the band descriptors. I have explained this at the beginning of this class before. You need certain things to be in place for you to score the band that you desire or that you require. You know, there's a difference between the band you require and the band that you desire. You require a band 7.0 as a nurse, and you may desire to score a band 9.0. So your desires are different from your requirements, all right? So if you desire to have a 9.0, you need to study more. If you just want to make your requirement, then maybe you may be lucky with or without your studying if you are a genius. Other than that, we have done our classes today and we have done some practices. I'm just going to make some corrections so that we can all pick from, you know, what we are discussing. We can pick from these corrections, okay? Omalola, I'll take you out of my class. The problem we have is that we don't read the instructions. On that Zoom thing where you registered, it stated there clearly that if you can't have your video on, for whatever reason, don't join the Zoom class. The class is free of charge. The class is to help us, but we will never obey instructions. And that is one of the major problems that we Africans have, or humans generally have. Obeying instruction is a big problem and it's not so good. It's not good because this IELTS that you're going to write has to also do with you obeying instructions. If you don't adhere strictly to what they have asked you to stick to, I tell you the truth, you will come out of the exam hall crying because at the end you won't make your papers. If you can't have your video on, this is because we do know and we understand that there are reasons why people can't have their videos on. Some is for social purposes. They don't want to be seen on the internet, good and fine. Some people is because they are at work or they are in the bus or they are in places where they can't have their video on. Some people is because of their mentality, okay? So for whatever reason, you can't have your video on, join the YouTube class. In the YouTube class, you can still ask your questions, and when I get some time, I can answer you. It's just that you can't participate in what we are doing. But you can also arrange within yourselves, have a class, 2 to 3, 5 people highest, where you can access yourself and speak and rate yourself, okay? So if you can't have your video on, don't bother coming into this class. Don't bother coming in because you're coming in here, you're distracting us, you're making me talk, you're making me stop. I spent more than 30 minutes of the 2 hours that we have talking about this. It's not good, is it? It's not good for us to be distracting ourselves. Please. Okay. So the first person that spoke was who again? Was who was the first person that spoke? Ijoma, right? Mark. It was Mark. Where did I write your corrections? I didn't write your name. Okay, fine. So, Mark, you need to make more use of synonyms. You kept repeating one word for all of it. You kept saying particular time, particular time, particular thing. Why not use something like a set time, an arranged time? All right. Why not try to get more synonyms for what you're saying? Because if you do this practice well, by the time you are talking, even if it's to someone else, in your head, you will start looking for words to use so you don't repeat a particular word all the time. All right? You have spoken well, okay? And there's something I wrote about the future. There's something you said about future and I wanted to comment on. I'll still remember it. I remember it. Other than that, you were quite fluent and you were trying to make us laugh. But the thing is, you need to really connect, okay? You need to connect your statements. You need to connect them well. You were talking about you using the aircraft for the first time. You need to, when you are talking about aircraft, use words like board or flight in relation to the aircraft, to the aeroplane, okay? You remember that I told us that in writing task 1, when you are given a particular task, there are vocabularies that are related to that task. You're talking about a process graph. You're talking about the first stages, next to it, subsequently, consequently, followed by. That's what you're using for a process graph. You're talking about a graph, a line graph, and you're talking about, you're saying things like decline, plunged, peaked, decreased dramatically, spontaneously, and all of that. So if you're discussing a particular thing like a journey, if you're talking about a journey that you bought, that you undertook, you should tell me the route. Thank God you did tell me the route. Then tell me things that are related to the route. Okay? I'm picking this because you have overall spoken well. So I just need you to be excellent. All right? That's why I'm picking on what some may think is not necessary. You need related vocabularies to use with your subject of discussion so you don't miss it, so you can score more marks. Is that okay? You will speak again, but not today. Ijoma, your use of words. Use of words, change significantly. Change significantly. You need to use the right words. You're talking about your environment. And then you are using words that are not in the context, that cannot be used in that context. Where is Ijoma? So that I will not be talking to the wind. She's here. Okay. Yes. So you are using, like you were trying to discuss something and you said despite instead of irrespective. I asked you about the education of a girl and a boy, all right? And you're telling me that a boy can be educated, that both of them should be educated irrespective of their roles, not despite their roles. It should be irrespective. No matter the roles that they are playing, they should both be educated. Is that okay? So you need to get more words as well that you can use in place of the other, so you don't use words that are totally out of point. And then at a point you use the phrase, you said being allowed. Being allowed is wrong. Being allowed, any way you are using it in English language, you don't use those two things together. It's either it is allowed or it is not allowed. Okay, so being allowed is a very wrong phrase to use. Okay, so change significantly your use of words, environment, and what else? Ujunwa. Ujunwa, where is Ujunwa? She's not here, she's gone. She's gone out of the class. She needs to work. So much work to do, and now she's not here. There's so much to correct with your work, Ujunwa. I hope you go back and watch this video at your own time so you can, like get this correction. In answering questions, please don't use too many simple answers. And then don't ask your examiner question back. I asked a question, describe this, and I say I should describe this. You're wasting time now. Go ahead and describe. Are you a baby that you say go and drop that thing? You say, hey, mommy, I should go and drop it. You're not a child now. I say go and drop it. Then go and keep it. You say, oh, okay, I should go and keep it. So go ahead. It's either you go ahead to answer or you don't answer. All right. I want you to know, based on her own correction, she refused to attempt certain questions. She just said, I don't know it. How can you say you don't know it? I asked you about your birthday. You say you don't celebrate birthdays. And now you're telling me that they celebrated your birthday and you have a picture. You're contradicting yourself. Please, your event that you're describing does not have to be true. I'm telling you, Chibi, I've told us before in this class, that the event you are describing does not have to be true. You can describe to me a birthday that you celebrated when you were 11 years or 10 years. Your 10th birthday was powerful, how they brought in DJ, there was a live band. That's because your parents value you so much, and the examiner is just looking out for your expression, your fluency, your use of words, your boldness, okay? That's what they are just after. It doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be true. Yes, your responses, Okoye Christiana, your responses can be connected to your past, to the present, and to the future, depending on the question that you are asked. For instance, I asked about a birthday that you celebrated. So your responses is in the past, okay? And then I asked that, do you think that parents should celebrate their children's birthdays? Your responses is what? It is past, it is past continuous and present continuous. Am I right? It is present continuous because you're saying like a process. You're saying something that should be. Then if I go ahead to ask you, what do you see in tourism in your country in the nearest future? You're going to be using words that are connected to what? The future. So IELTS speaking is not just about past, it's not about present, it's not about future, it is about past, present, and future. It depends on what you see. So you need to learn to do these things using which of the tenses, so that whatever tense you are faced with, you will be able to answer. I hope I'm making sense to somebody. Yeah? Okay. Also, there was this lack of confidence in the way she was talking. When you lack confidence, you lose marks. That's because you won't be able to say the right words. Then repetition of words. Yes, mark. Repetition. I had to. That's part of your correction. You need to work on it. So repetition of words need to be avoided, repetition of self. At some point, she was veering off from the course. She was veering off from the point that I wanted her to discuss. So you need to focus. Always bring yourself back. When you have gone, you've given your examples, you've done your narrations and all of that, bring yourself back to the class. Bring yourself back to the questions again. All right? Okay, less time to complete the main task. That's because if you veer off, you will have less time to continue your main task. I asked her a question about the most exciting day that she's had, and she was describing to me more like she was describing a typical day at work. When she got to work, she changed her uniform, she took over, and then she continued her work, she went to pee, and then she saw a show. You're telling me something that is exciting and there's no life in it. I want to feel it, that you are talking about an interesting topic, an exciting event that has happened. You know, you can describe like She did the day I became a mother, the day my first child was born. I left my house, that I was home, and they had to call me to come to work because probably they are short-staffed, I don't know. And when I got to work, I started my normal duties and only went to ease myself in the toilet, and then I saw show. I was confused. I didn't know what to do. I called the matron. She took me in and checked. She was doubting. I was doubting as well. Eventually, I had my baby and I was so excited. I called my husband. My husband was like, it was unbelievable. My mother could not even agree with, there's a life that you put in into what you're discussing, depending on the topic. If you ask me to describe a day that it's maybe a sad day, a sad event, I was happy a minute ago, and I'll tell you, well, the saddest day of my life was the day I lost my dad. Oh, I didn't know he was gonna die. He came visiting. I remember it was on a Saturday night because he came to my school to see me, and I was there with my friends. We had seen him, and he gave us some money and left, because as it is the manner of my dad, each time he comes to school to visit me or anywhere, people around me always get some goodies. So we had all gotten something, packages from my dad, and he went back. But on his way back to his base, because he doesn't live where I school, he was involved in a ghastly motor accident and he died. I can't ever forget that day because it took a part of me, and over time, I've not really been able to go over it. Now, my mood changed. I was able to describe to you, my father died. It was a sad day. Okay? I was just talking about an exciting moment, but because the question changed, my mood changed, my answer changed, my words changed. And you could feel it around me. Maybe if I had kept on talking about this sad day in my life, you will start feeling the sadness yourself. What are you doing? I'm communicating and I'm pulling you along. Remember that it is a dialogue between you and your examiner. It's an interaction. Whatever you say should make an impact on this examiner. Whatever answer you give should leave a print in this examiner, even though they don't get to live with it. But at that point when you need them to score you your mark, enter into their heart very well. Let them give you your mark, and then they can come out of the mood. Whether it is the mood of excitement or sadness or an understanding of a particular thing. So, boy, you did not, okay. She didn't describe anything exciting to me. Esther was using some nouns. She was replacing her nouns. You were just bringing words from wherever. Use countable nouns for what it should be used for. Like you're talking about people, a group of people, you should say many people, not much people. There's nothing like much people, please. It is countable now. You don't use much. Okay, many, because you can count them. These are little things that they take note of and they cut your marks down. And you kept saying, you kept repeating yourself. Then the one that even pained me small, is the fact that I asked you to describe to me about an exercise and you're describing sports. Did I say sports? Did I say sports, Auntie? You're telling me about football. I said, what form of exercise do people engage in? What are the types of exercises that we have? People run, people jog, people jump. Okay? As a form of exercise, there is the outdoor and the indoor. There are gymnastics. Are there not forms of exercises? So what kind of exercise? And then you say football and you didn't even mention, if you have veered into telling me about games, why not tell me about volleyball as well? Why did you just stop on football? So that I will understand the point you are coming from. Okay, I like the narration of your story about the whatever that happened, and to the extent that your head teacher or headmaster even had to carry you up. It's an exciting story, which is very good, but you need to use more of complex sentences, simple and complex sentences put together like you do in your writing task 2 and in task 1. That's what will give you your marks, okay? That's what will give you your marks. If not, you can't make your mark. And then there was no life in what we were doing. No life. It was dead. I'm a very tough teacher, Abi. Use of words, really. You were using the word really. I didn't really. We were really. They didn't really. They were really. Auntie. Please, try to be more expressive. All right? Be more expressive with different words, not one particular word. So if I come to your class now and I'm telling you, okay, I'm not really sure, or I'm really sure, you know, as a matter of fact, you know, actually, all those words that we use continuously, please to avoid them because they will affect you in your speaking test. Okay? Peter was telling me about how he preferred to use the laptop to the desktop, and you're telling me about mobility. Your laptop is not a driver, it's not a vehicle, and it is not mobile, but it is portable. I know what you mean was that you can carry it along anywhere you go, okay? So you can hit the road, it's in your bag and your carry, so it's portable. The laptop is portable and it's durable. It's something that is readily available to you that you don't have to start setting up the desktop. Okay? Unfortunately, me, I disagree with you. I prefer my desktop to the laptop. That's just by the way. All right. So existing place, okay. You can actually describe a non-existing place. He was describing the Obudu cattle ranch because he knows where it is and he knows about it. If, for instance, you are asked about a place that you don't know, please create one in your head. You can even locate it in your village. Create one, let it be located in your bedroom, no problem. Just make sure you say something. Don't tell me, I've never been to any, I don't even know. Hey, where are exciting places? For where? There's nothing like that though. Create one in your head now. Let your brain start working. In fact, as you are creating the area, be saying it is in the middle of your father's compound, no problem. Okay? If I want to create one now as I'm talking with you, I will just start describing my grandfather's compound for you, because I know how to locate. So how to get there? If you describe, you remember what I'm saying is, once you have been able to conquer step 1, you will conquer step 2. Because if I create one that is located in my grandfather's compound, I know how to get to my grandfather's compound, don't I know? Where you have to take a vehicle, then you stop and you walk a little bit and you're there. So you create what you can explain. You create that, and at the end of the day, you get your mark. Uchenna, welcome to the class. Late comer. Okay, so you will create one. No? He was talking about what he knows. That's good. But if you don't know anything, please create one, because your examiner is not going to look for the address. They are not taking the address for them to go and start looking for it. Not at all. Not at all. Okay? So yes, then eye contact. You were talking with me and I expected you to look a bit into your camera, but you were looking somewhere else. Remember that in the speaking test, there will be cameras, okay? There will be camera, and the camera will be at a level where, as you're talking and looking at your examiner, you are looking at the camera. You need to focus on your examiner. Remember, I told you it's a dialogue. You're not having a proper dialogue when there's no eye contact, when there's no proper communication between your visual whatever. Before I speak long English, there has to also be a proper communication in terms of what you see, how you see yourselves, and how you relate eye to eye. Okay? So these are the people that have spoken in this class today. Okay, all right. Can I ask a question? I want to get clarified on where to write my opinion on 2 sides. Sorry, this is not a writing task. It's not a writing test. It's not a writing class that we are doing today. If you, that's Blessing. She was here. I thought Blessing was in this class. Blessing, if you go back to the writing task, you will see where to write your opinion, especially 2 weeks ago or about 2 classes ago. You should be able to answer this your question. Go back and have a look on the YouTube videos, and you will get the answers that you need. This is not a writing class, and I don't want to divert the attention of the members of this class. All right. Yes, we have 28 more minutes. Now the time has changed. Last night I had an extra 1 hour to sleep so that our time can be different from Nigeria. Now we are 1 hour behind Nigeria. We have slept the sleep. We have enjoyed the extra 1 hour. The time stood still, you know. You were looking at 12 o'clock like this, and it refused to move for 1 hour. The clock refused to move. It was there just like it was for Joshua. So yes, when it's your 3 o'clock, it's my 2 o'clock here. And I just need God to help me so that I get used to it and I don't make an announcement and I'm not online. We are still going to have our Tuesday class at the time that we used to have it. Saturday class as well. Then next Tuesday class, I think, and after that, I'll have to reschedule some classes. So yes. Any question before I move on? Do you have any question in speaking? Have any question concerning speaking? Because yes, I still want 2 people to speak.
I have a
before
question.
We go.
I have a question, ma.
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Good evening, ma. It's Linda. Hello, can you hear me, ma? Ma, can you hear me?
I've told you to go ahead, Linda. I've told you to go ahead.
Okay, ma. Please, I want to ask, can I still speak next week? I don't know if we're going to be doing speaking next week. So I can just try my best.
Why? Because you have spoken before. So, and there are people in this class who have not spoken. Don't be selfish. Are you a fish seller? Who has not spoken? Who has not done their speaking test rehearsal in this class? I've not spoken. Let me see your hand. I know Deborah has not spoken. You will speak today. Who has not spoken?
I've not
Let me see your hand.
I've not spoken.
You that have been missing classes.
I just joined.
You think I don't know? Okay, you just joined. You will speak. That's Chinwe. And who again, please? Abigail. Linda, don't raise your hand. I will bring your hand down.
Hello.
Abigail, have you spoken? Abigail, she's not even in the class. I hope we're not having network issues. Can we all hear? Okay, for those of us on YouTube, a link has been sent to
Hello, ma.
the YouTube now. Is on the comment box. You can check that on how to join. How to join is already sent to you. Is there. Okay?
Hello, ma. Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
Yes, ma. This is Omalola. I've not spoken. I had network problem before.
Okay. So Omalola and Deborah, you will speak today.
Yes, ma. Thank you, ma.
Deborah, are you ready? Deborah?
Yes, ma. Let me give it a try. Yes,
are you ready?
Let me give it a try, ma. Yes, ma.
Oh, yeah, let's bind village people so that they'll not stop you. They'll not tamper with your network. All right, Deborah. My name is Joy Agagwu, and I'm the anchor for this IELTS speaking test today. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Talk. Okay. My name is Deborah. I was born on the 10th of February 1996.
Okay, Deborah. Deborah, do you study or work?
Okay, I work presently. I work as a nurse in a school.
that is located in the center of Abuja. And it's been exciting working.
Okay. Okay. Do you like flowers?
So, please, I didn't get the question.
Do you like flowers? Flowers.
Can you hear me,
Flowers. The type you carried on your wedding day. Flowers. Flowers. Flower.
Oh, flowers they are beautiful. I really love flowers. I like being in flowery environment. I love flowers. I've been able to see different flowers, and because of my love for flowers, I've been able to learn about different types of flowers, like hibiscus flowers and so on. So I really do love flowers because they give me an exciting moment.
Okay, so what's your favorite flower?
Hibiscus flower is my favorite flower because firstly, the color attracted me to it. The color attracted me, and also when I was able to get to know about the purpose, it has different purposes. It's medicinal, that is number one, and also it's decorative, like it can be used for decorating purposes. So I really like the flower. I really like hibiscus flowers.
All right. When was the last time you gave someone flowers?
Okay. The last time I gave a flower to somebody was on a birthday ceremony. The person is my friend. She had a birthday and invited me over. And in the course of friendship, I've been able to get to know that she also likes flowers. So, but she likes them in different colors and different combinations. So, because I really know she loves flowers, so I went into a store in Abuja City and decided to get a very beautiful flowers with different colors and a sweet fragrance. So when I presented it to her, she was so happy. She was excited and really appreciated the fact that I knew what she loved and decided to present that to her.
Okay. All right, Deborah. Do you think people value flowers?
Okay, personally, I think some people do, while some people don't. It's a personal. It's personal. Like it depends on what people want. It depends on what people like.
Okay.
But I believe that there are some people who actually value flowers because of the memories it brings to them, because of the emotional aspect of it also. So I believe that there are people who value flowers.
All right. So, Deborah, you're going to take 1 minute to prepare on this topic I'm giving you. You can take note if you like, and remember to include examples and reasons. All right. You should then speak for between 1 and 2 minutes. Describe the person in your family who you admire the most. The person in your family who you most admire. In describing this person, you should say what their relationship is to you, okay? What they have done in their life, all right? What they do now, and then explain why you admire them so much. Did you get the question?
Yes, ma'am. I did. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to be talking about the person I admire most in my family. The person I found so admiring in my family is my father. He has been he has been able to live a fatherly life. He has been able to fulfill his fatherly roles. And he was able to, despite the fact that he couldn't have a formal education, he didn't have access to a formal education due to financial constraints, he made sure that he sent me to school, including, not only me, including my siblings. He had the plan and he made sure he fulfilled his plans. And also he made sure he gave me the love that a child should have. He extended his love to me. I could remember when I was in secondary school, and I almost lost hope because of the financial constraint in my family. But because of the promise that my father had made to himself, that he would make sure that attends all his children are educated, formally educated, he went extra mile to get the money and he paid the school fees. I was able to write my final examination that year and I came out with flying colors. And presently, I still admire him because of what he does to me presently. He made sure he checks on me. He makes sure he checks on me every now and then to see how I'm faring. He makes sure he is able to meet my needs because he sees it as his responsibility. And I really do appreciate that about him. And also love him. I love my father, so I admire my father so much for his steadfastness, his determination, his courage, and the ability to nurture a child, especially in this decade world. I admire him so much for that.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear?
Yes, Mike, can
In
hear
what
you.
ways, Deborah? In what ways do you think that families in your country have changed recently?
Okay, it's obvious, it's well known that due to this war, due to this changing world, changing in technology, family also has changed in the aspect of visitation. Gone are those days where grandparents could visit their children and feel at home and always want and are always willing to stay back. But in this current in this present world, in this present time, we found I personally observed that grandparents no longer like to stay with their children again due to various reasons. The reasons could be personal to them, and the reasons also could be general. For instance, there are grandparents who come to visit their children in the city, and we're not comfortable anymore because of the rate of hospitality are diminished due to various distraction, possibly various distraction on the parts of probably the in-law or their children, the in-laws or their children. So, and also generally, grandparents these days don't like to stay in their children's home because some feel that they won't some grandparents feel that they won't have access to the things they used to do back in the village or where they came from. For example, farming. It's well known that farming is one of the things that people who live in the village cherish a lot. They find it fascinating, but getting to the city, they feel restricted. So to my own opinion, I feel that family is really, really changing in this present world, in this present time, due to the technology fast-based world. So
okay,
that's what I feel.
okay. So Deborah, do you think that husbands and wives should have different roles within the family? Why do you think so? And if no, why not?
Okay, husbands and wives should have different roles. Okay, I personally go with the fact that husbands and wives should have different roles. This permits sharing. It eases burden and helps one to be focused so as to be able to carry out the responsibilities very well. I believe it's well known that when you have a definite role, you will be able you'll be able to carry it out with all your heart. You'll be able to carry it out
All
wholeheartedly
right.
because the burden will be eased. So I believe that.
Okay, thank you very much, Deborah. You have come to the end of your speaking test. Thank you. Where is Omalola? Hello, Omalola. Good afternoon. My name is Joy Agagwu. Can you unmute yourself, please? I've asked you to unmute.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
My name is Omalola Omitogun, and my date of birth is 20th of August, 1980.
Okay, Omalola, are you a happy person?
Sure, I am.
What usually makes you happy?
What usually makes me happy when I think of my background and where I am presently, I usually feel God has really helped me up to this level.
Okay. So, does the weather ever affect how you feel?
Yes, of course, it does. Most of the time when the weather is hot, I don't usually feel so comfortable with hot weather. I prefer a cold weather than a hot weather, because the cold weather makes it's a kind of refreshes my body. It's a kind of keep me warm. It's a kind of I'm usually able to do some activities like I feel so uncomfortable in a hot.
What makes you feel unhappy?
What usually makes me feel, it depends on the situation. Sometimes if I'm not able to write, if I'm not able to live, I don't usually
Okay.
feel happy. But when I'm able to impact life positively, when others are able to gain one or two things from me, when I'm able to help my fellow human being, I usually feel happy.
Okay. Do you think that people in your country are generally happy people?
Well, people in my country, it depends on the situation. Sometimes they are happy, but sometimes when things are not going the way it should, I think people are not really happy like that. For instance, if we have a bad governance, if the basic infrastructures are not there and people are not enjoying what they are supposed to enjoy as a citizen of a country, their rights are being infringed upon, they are not usually happy. So in my opinion, I think their happiness depends on the situation on ground.
Okay. All right. So, Omalola, you will take 1 minute to prepare a talk on the topic that I'll give you.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
take notes if you like, and remember to include reasons and examples. You
Yes,
should
ma'am.
then speak for between 1 and 2 minutes. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Describe your favorite shop. Describe your favorite shop. In describing this shop, you should say where the shop is, what thing it sells, what things it sells, what sort of people are its customers, and explain why you like the shop so much. Describe your favorite shop, where it is, what things it sells, what sort of people are its customers, and explain why you like the shop so much.
Okay. My favorite shop is ShopRite. It is located in the capital city of Abeokuta in Ogun State. The location makes the shop to be accessible to many people. Many of the citizens access the shop, and they sell different kind of things in the shop, ranging from foodstuff, flowers, groceries, clothes, shoes, ladies wear, children's wear, men's wear, phone accessories, and all sort of things like that are being sold in the shop. And as I've said, because of the location of located in the capital city, it attracts so many customers from far and near. So many customers, male and female, children, everyone loves to be at one point or the other. Is being run 24/7. Anytime you to buy what you want, you're able to purchase one thing or the other. Even sometimes from your needs that you have taken to the shop, sometimes some things are not things are not included in your list, but when you get there, the sights of different goods on the shelf of the shop make you to remember, oh, I need this, oh, I need that, and you are able to access those things, pick them up in the cart, and you are able to access them even when you don't have enough cash with you. The shop is so much equipped that you have a POS there. You can, as you go along with your ATM card, you can use it in the shop to pay for whatever goods you are bought. So the shop attracts so many customers. I really like this shop because you can access it at any time. It is also located centrally. The shop has so many departments, so many areas. You can go there to relax, even from the stress of work, from the stress of the day. You are able to sit down there. It has a corner that you can relax, even with your friends or with your spouse. You can take your children there to enjoy. It has a lot of amusement areas that those children can have fun, they can catch fun. Then coming to inside the shop, you can go to different sections of the shop, different departments in the shop, and you are able to purchase whatever you want to purchase. So this is why I so much like the shop.
Okay. All right. So what typical things can visitor buy? Visitors to your country, what typical things can they buy? What do you think?
Typical things visitors to my country can buy include the local cloth they make. We call it adire, and the visitors from my countries love this. When they come down and they see these different shades of adire, tie and dye, they are so much in love with it, and they don't want to leave without taking one along with them.
Okay, so what things do young people like to buy in your country?
Well, people in my country love to buy many of ladies wear, men's wear, shoes, bags, phones, different kind of phones, these wristwatches, and all sorts of things like that. So people in my country always like to buy these because they always want to appear so attractive to others.
Okay, thank you very much, Omalola. You have come to the end of your
Thank you.
speaking test today. You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so just a quick one to for Omalola and Deborah. Deborah, you need to work on your tenses. You need to know which noun is countable and which is not countable. A flowers, it should be a bunch of flower. All right, a bunch. Okay, if you want to use a, if not, flowers is okay. Okay. You need to work on your tenses. I think that's the major thing. And then you work on trying to be more audible so your teacher can hear you well and better. That way you are assessed as you should be. You won't be misunderstood. Okay. Wow. Okay, Panaki, that's so nice to know. Thank you. I heard they found our palliative somewhere already. And let them go and eat. Why are you laughing? That's what's in vogue now, palliative. Maybe I should be asking you people palliative questions now in this speaking test. Anyways, Deborah, you've done a good job. You just need to raise your voice up a little bit, make yourself clearer. I mean, make your explanations clearer, and don't be too, like, you're trying to explain and you're going too simple. As much as possible, complex and simple sentences mixed together. All right. Consider the use of words like however, yeah, therefore, in all those your explanation, like you telling me about your dad, how he struggled to train new people in school. If you can say something like the times were hard for him, despite all of that, he was still able to take care of you. And if you can use more of, those other words, those join what do we call them again? Linking verbs, cohesive devices, so that you don't break your work too much and you don't speak too much English that is very light, it's not heavy, and it does not carry weight. Let your sentences be much more constructed than they are. I got your idea. I did understand your explanation, but it will be fine if you can work more on your tenses, and if you can be much more audible, if you can use more complex sentences, and your work will be perfect. Omalola, I want to know how cold weather can keep you warm. Because you just contradicted yourself. You don't like hot weather, you don't like heat, but you are telling me that cold weather is keeping you warm. That's a serious grammatical error, a very serious one. All right, you need to like know exactly what to say in connection to what. Okay. Bad government. If you're talking about bad government, it's not bad governance. There's a word for governance. There's a governance as a word, but that's a process, okay, of the government carrying out its activities called governance. So is that what you're describing, or are you talking about bad government? Be very careful your use of words. Then in describing to me what you think the young people in your country like to buy, tell me about trendy things that are in vogue. That's what they want to buy. Tell me that the young people like flashy things. They like things that are shiny, things that are attractive. Those are the words I want to hear. Okay? Those are the words I want to hear. Other than that, everyone that spoke today has really spoken well. I see an improvement. I see that you're learning from yourselves. So if you have not spoken, kindly let me know so that we can talk about that. Panaki, I know you're on Telegram. If you send me a message, a private message on Telegram, you should be able to take care of this. Yeah? Okay. So, any question? Any question? Yes, please. Chinwe, ask your question. You will speak next lesson. That will be the last one for speaking. That will be the last speaking class. Then we move to something else. All right.
Okay, ma, that's what I wanted to say. All right.
Is that all you wanted to ask? Okay, that's
Yes,
fine.
ma.
All right, so who else has a question? Is anyone raising their hand? What are you doing, Deborah? Good afternoon, Uncle. Are you joining our class today? Oh, this network is so bad.
Greet you people.
You are greeting us, Abi. We are answering you, sir.
Yes, ma.
Well done,
You
well
fix
done.
my own.
You should start joining the class.
Okay, ma. Okay, ma.
You're welcome. Okay, so if there's
I want something to say, ma.
Yes, please say some. Who is talking now? Let's be more organized. Tony, what do you want to say?
I would like to speak too.
Next week, next class. And please come on time. If you don't come on time, I look at the people that are coming into the class. That's how we get the numbers to speak, okay? Okay, Deborah, what were you saying?
Hello, ma. Omalola on the line.
Okay, Omalola, what are you saying, please?
Are there particular areas that we need to focus more than the others?
No.
So that we'll be able to improve more. Okay.
No particular areas in your speaking test, no particular areas in the IELTS test generally. You just need to be open-minded. We have done this in our last class where I mentioned the areas where you will be speaking from, like talking about family, talking about housing, talking about the various topics where you can find IELTS questions from. Is that what you're trying to ask?
Yes, because I really missed the last class. So maybe that was why I was not able to pick
Go
it.
back and watch
Thank
it.
you.
Go back and watch
Ma.
it. The topic list is a long one. We're talking about work, study, hometown, home art, birthdays, childhood, clothes, computers. We talk about leisure time. We talk about reading, shopping. We talk about you having pets, about newspapers, music, you know, what makes you happy, weather, transportation, TV, sports. There are so many of them, so many topics. We talk about routine, you know, like your daily routine, family, friends, flowers, food, going out, happiness, hobbies, favorite food, and the rest of them. All right?
Yes,
so you just need to be versatile. You just need to be open. If you are open-minded, whatever question you're asked, you'll be able to answer. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Any other question? You're welcome. In the absence of any question, our time is up for this class. I'll see you again on Tuesday by 3 o'clock. Bye-bye for now.
Bye, ma. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, ma.
Thank you, ma.